I want to thank everyone who voted in the survey last week for upcoming topics. And apparently, some viewers were so excited to vote that they did so 2, 3, or 32 times. I want to let you know about the results and respond to some of the great suggestions. So first up, the vote for topics. I said I would start with the top 5 results, and here they are. How to read a clinical trial, abdominal x-rays, acute kidney injury, antiarrhythmics, and more EKGs. These won't necessarily be the next 5 videos out or be posted in that exact order, but you should expect to see all of those topics covered in the next couple of months. As far as all of the remaining topics on the big list, the reason they were on the list to begin with is because I'm planning to cover them at some point and will still do so just a bit later. Next was the free response question asking for other suggestions for the channel. I really appreciate all of the supportive comments viewers sent. And for the suggestions, literally without exception, everyone was great. I wish I could enact all of them, but for many reasons, usually related to not enough time, some of them will need to wait for now. I thought I'd address just a few of the most common ideas that were submitted. A lot of people asked for additional clinical fields to be included, like urology and family medicine and the like. I would love to broaden the scope of what's covered, but I don't have any specific expertise in those fields. One of the things that I think sets my channel apart from some others on YouTube is that I mostly post videos about things with which I have some degree of personal clinical experience. This clinical experience helps me to organize information in a way that doesn't just make sense in a textbook or at a whiteboard, but which I think also makes sense at the bedside. So unfortunately, I won't be able to personally talk about some of those fields on here. This brings me to another suggestion, which was to bring on additional doctors to the channel to help produce that broader content and produce a greater volume of content. I would love to do this, and I have been working on convincing a couple colleagues in particular. The problem is that doctors tend to be incredibly busy, and making YouTube videos is something that our institutions don't value highly. So when it comes time for our academic departments to consider promoting us, for example, from a clinical instructor to assistant professor, or from assistant professor to associate professor, the fact that someone has made a few dozen YouTube videos, it really doesn't count for squat compared to publishing papers or sitting on important hospital committees. So even with doctors who love teaching and fully support the idea of free online learning, it's really hard to convince them that their valuable time is best spent on this endeavor. But I'm going to keep working at it. I'll mention one collaborative project which looks like it's actually happening in a minute. Some people mentioned printable notes. I actually do have notes to go along with many of the videos, which are available on a public Google Drive. The link is in the video description. Speaking of which, another suggestion was to include relevant primary papers or other resources in the descriptions for viewers that want to learn, who want to learn more about that particular topic. I also got the suggestion a while back, but I have not been employing it consistently. I'll try to be better about that moving forward because I do think it's a great idea. I wish I could commit to a consistent posting schedule, but unfortunately my own work and personal schedules are so variable this is just not feasible right now. There was a great idea to post videos where I discuss the thought process behind real clinical cases, and in fact, that will be folded into a much larger collaborative project on clinical reasoning that is just getting off the ground. Hopefully you'll see that and other cool clinical reasoning stuff pop up on this channel or potentially somewhere else on YouTube in 6 to 12 months or so. Lastly, there were several suggestions to tackle large pre-clerkship courses such as genetics or biochem or immunology in a way that could replace the didactic material for a live course. I would love to take that on. I have lots of ideas about how that might, what that might look like and how it could be completely different and better than anything else currently out there. And there are actually some YouTubers right here at Stanford I could possibly collaborate with to make it happen. But if I took that on, I would want it to be awesome, and I just don't have the additional bandwidth right now to guarantee that level of awesomeness. But we'll see how things look in a year or so, and who knows, maybe. So I'm going to end here. I'm sorry if I did not mention your specific suggestions, but like I said, all of them are wonderful and all of them are being considered. I've already started working on the new topics that won the votes. You should be on the lookout for them to start rolling out in a few weeks. Once again, thanks to everyone who participated in the poll. It's super helpful for me to hear from you guys, to hear what's helpful and what you want to learn more about. And of course, thanks for watching.